Hey everyone, Alex back again, bringing you another video. This time we're doing another vinyl finds, or vinyl collection update if you will. Just stuff that's either come in over the last couple months, or stuff I've finally been able to listen to that I've had sitting around for a while. So firstly, I'm going to give you my birthday haul. So my birthday was back in May. And we're now in June, so obviously this is a good while, but I didn't get to go on my birthday like I usually do. Instead I went a few days after, and like I have done for the past few years, spent my birthday digging in vintage and vinyl. My new local, just from where I live, it's about a 10 maybe 15-minute walk. Handy. So what did I pick up? Well, first thing is this Badfinger album, No Dice. This is the one that came out on Record Store Day back in April. It was on my list. I didn't grab it on the day because there were a couple other things I wanted and budget was running a little tight. So I put this back on the shelf, and then the Monday after Record Store Day, Steve, who owns Vintage and Vinyl, called me and said, I still have one if you're still interested. And I was like, yes, please. So from my understanding, this was a UK only release, although Discogs lists it as worldwide, which obviously I know some American record stores or, international stores probably got a copy. But this one came on a translucent orange vinyl. Oh, if I don't drop it as well, that's also great. So yeah, as you can see, it's the original 1970s. It's a replica of the original 1970s artwork, but it's the 2010 remaster of this. So the first time the 2010 remastered version has been on vinyl. And actually my first Badfinger album. Now I have seen an original of this once before, but it was massively out of my budget, so I couldn't get it then. This of course was a very affordable RSD pickup. In fact, probably one of the cheaper albums on RSD if I remember correctly. But super happy to have this in the collection finally. One I can cross off the list, and hopefully I can find some more Badfinger to add to the collection, because despite being a British band, you don't see them too often here in the UK, at least not in the area I live anyway. So the next thing I grabbed from Vintage and Vinyl as part of my birthday haul was Joey Badass. You're not going to see it through the sleeve there. But it is All American Badass, his album from 2017. They'd just got some restocks in of a couple of his albums. I wanted this one because it's my favourite studio album from him. There's a mixtape he put out, where was actually my introduction to him. But this, of all of his studio albums that he's put out so far, is definitely my favourite one. I think it's aged really well. If you're not into modern hip hop, this is one I'd instantly gravitate towards as a recommendation to get you into it. It's got some boom bappy type tracks, as well as some modern sounding ones as an insert there. I won't show the other side because it's a very explicit image there. But yeah, the inner sleeves, just more photography, just standard black vinyl on custom labels. They're very good album from Joey Badass. Definitely, I think, an underrated MC. If I'm taking anyone who's been around and like for the past 15 years or so, I'd definitely put him in my top 5. Obviously of all time, no, but top 5 of the last maybe 10-15 years, definitely. I would love to pick up more of his stuff, it's just you just don't see it. So yeah, that one, very, very happy to finally get that in the collection. Double LP there. There is a track on here with Schoolboy Q as well called Rockabye Baby, which is my favourite track on that album. Very, very good. Okay, and the final thing I picked up from Vintage and Vinyl as part of my birthday haul, this was actually in their new in section. And new in, that normally means they either just cleaned a load of stuff and put it out on the shelves finally, because they've got so many collections that they're sorting through, and they just put out a load of 12-inch singles, and this one actually caught my attention. Gary Burr and the JB Experience, The Crown, mainly because there is a Stevie Wonder, or multiple Stevie Wonder connections to this one. Of course, you've got the lyrics on the back of this one. So for those of you that don't know this track, it was produced, written, arranged, and features Stevie Wonder, who, if you're new to the channel, is my favourite artist of all time. So anything remotely related to him, I'm going to pick it up. But it's obviously got a list of all the musicians here, and Stevie plays piano, drums, Fender, Rhodes, all the synthesizers, woodblocks, and the tambourine. Pretty good guy. We all know Stevie's a multi-instrumentalist. And this is just one of his fine works from 1983, still on Motown. I don't think Gary Burr did anything after this as himself. I know he put out a couple of comps that were maybe soul related, but as far as it goes, this is, as far as I know, the only thing he's ever done. So either he did like one track and got dropped from Motown, or I don't really know, but really good. I'd love to have the 7-inch as well, but for now the 12-inch will do. I've seen that a couple times, but usually pass on it because it's been beat. That one's really, really clean. Next thing I'm going to show you is another reissue, but this one a bit of an older reissue. I say that it's from 2018. Is the reissue of Twilight 22, originally from 1984. Now this is electro hip hop in a way for some of it, but you've also got a little bit of boogie on here as well. Electric Kingdom was the big tune off of this one. If you're unfamiliar, you might recognize it, but I really like this album for the two songs, Don Juan, which is kind of like a disco-y boogie kind of track, and then Mysterious as well, which is on here. And oddly enough, there is also on this album another Stevie Wonder connection. That name there, I'm not going to try and pronounce it, Gordon something, actually worked with Stevie on Songs in the Key of Life and The Journey Through the Secret Life of Plants. Although very young at the time when he worked on them, he worked with Stevie on those albums. So yeah, happy to grab that. This one actually was technically from a friend of mine. He was away on my birthday, so we couldn't hang out, but he sent some money my way, said get yourself something that you want. This came up on a Facebook auction page that I'm a part of for vinyl auctions, and I obviously won it, but there was one guy who I kind of got into a little bidding war with. In the end, I think it was like less than 15 shipped, which is fantastic. Yeah, really happy with that pick up there. One thing I'm not happy about though with that, and I don't know if anyone else has suffered this. Yeah, stiffener. So the guy that posted it, I'm guessing, didn't really know what he was doing, and this is only the second time this has happened to me. But he used 2 records as stiffeners to keep the album safe. One, of course, Duck Rock by Malcolm McLaren. The other was Club Classics Volume 1 by Soul to Soul. Obviously really annoying because they're 2 albums that I have been looking for such a long time. This one a bit longer, obviously. I checked them both. This one plays perfectly fine. This one has a scratch on it, and and it skips, and I need an upgrade of this one. Luckily, I've been through it before where I'll hunt for something, I won't find it for ages, I'll get it in my collection, and then I won't stop seeing it anywhere. So hopefully, I think it won't take long to get an upgrade, but I want to know, has anyone else suffered this where a seller has sent you a record and then used other albums as a stiffener to keep them safe? Like I said, it's happened to me twice now. This is only the second time. The first time I could get rid of the album because it wasn't one I was going to be interested in listening to. But these two are obviously going to be ones that I am. This one is a definite one I want to upgrade. This one, it would just be the cover. But that, again, actually goes with it in a little bit because of the hip-hop style graffiti-ish kind of cover, which I think works. But again, those two are in the collection now. One more as a placeholder, because like I said, this one actually just needs a cleaning a little bit, I think. But that scratch is, of course, very off-putting because it's very, very deep. Next up are a few things I've had for a minute here. A couple of pickups from 2025, and then we'll get to some 26 pickups. War, The World is a Ghetto. Picked this up in 2025. I have seen this once or twice before. Just never this clean. From 1971, I believe. Every time I see War stuff, it's usually beat anyway, but this was a really super clean copy. Vinyl and cover, which is very rare. Obviously there's still some slight ring wear on the cover, but that don't bother me. The vinyl's, like, I'd say near mint, bordering on mint, not gem mint, but you know. 4 by Foreigner. This was actually my introduction album to Foreigner from the song Jukebox Hero. It's got Waiting for a Girl Like You, which was the big single off of here. Urgent and Woman in Black are some great tracks. I do love Foreigner quite a bit. This is their album from 1981. So again, this was a charity shop find as well in 2025, and I think the last thing I have to show you from 25, that was a charity shop pickup. Don't hold me to that, but I'm pretty sure it is. Everything else now is either new vinyl or just secondhand stuff, but in general, I think for charity shops from 2025, I think that's the last thing I need to show you. A couple of pickups from 2026, and then we'll just get to the rest of the stuff. Set of Benz 10cc, maybe my favourite album from 10cc, has The Things We Do for Love on this album, which is great, and Good Morning Judge is on here. Just track for track, maybe their best. Really happy to get that one back in the collection. This next artist is one I don't normally dig in this section because I know the prices of what people are typically going to be charging. But for a $5, I couldn't leave it behind. It was too clean and just in too nice of shape to leave behind. Rust Never Sleeps by Neil Young and Crazy Horse from 1979. Don't think it's a first pressing, but it's definitely first year, and has all the inserts and stuff with it, so that was a really good pickup there. Not a huge fan of Neil Young, but definitely more tolerant of his music than I was a number of years ago. I wouldn't go near his music a few years ago now. I'll give it at least one listen, but that one I really liked, so maybe pick up more Crazy Horse stuff from him. What do we have here? Probably my most recent 2026 pickup. James Brown's Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud. Again, an artist who, when you see it, the prices are either through the roof or the albums are beat. So finding this one was at a good price was really good. Happy to get it. Always happy to get the Godfather of Soul on vinyl when I can find him. And I think this is my 4th album from him. I have a comp and 3 studio albums, I believe. I'm always on the hunt for James Brown. Hell, I would love to get a copy of Hell. I'd love to get a copy of The Payback, but I never see that album. And when you see it online, people always have it at a price I can't afford to pay. But one day I'm sure I'll find a copy of The Payback at a good price I can afford, or not, and just one day just bite the bullet and get it. But yeah, but now James Brown, Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud, finally have it in the collection. Great little stuff there. This next thing I'm going to show you is actually the thing in this stack I've had the longest. For long-time subscribers, if you remember back at the start of 2024, a friend of a friend got in touch, said they had a bag of records that they were getting rid of. They didn't want anything for them. There was about, I want to say there was a good 50 to 60 albums in there. I think I kept about half, maybe a little bit more of them. And before going through the bag I went through the bag one more time to make sure that everything in there, that was in there, I definitely wanted to get rid of. And then I went back and re-listened to this and enjoyed it more the second time around I listened to it. Haircut 100's Pelican West. I wasn't blown away by this the first time around. It was okay for me. It just wasn't anything to write home about. Second time around, I don't know what changed in the last 2 years, but this one is good enough for me to keep it as a permanent placeholder in my collection. From 1982, it is UK New Wave. It's the band, of course, when Nick Hayward got his became known for. But yeah, I don't think I know they have a second album, but I don't think it did very well. This one peaked at number 2 here in the UK. But I think the second album was at like 35 or something. It failed to chart in the US. But I know they're still touring, and I believe they've put a new song out this year. But yeah, one that I definitely am happy to have. It didn't have the free booklet with it that this one's supposed to come with, but I'm not overly fussed about that. I'm just happy to have Haircut 100 in the collection. This next album, I think, has been making its way in the rounds in the VC a little bit from time to time. A very obscure band, don't know if you've heard of them. Yeah, of course, the Beatles. Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Not a band much like Neil Young, I don't dig in their section. Because when I find their stuff, it's always more than what I want to pay for it, or, you know, there's a reason I know it. And yeah, this one I wanted a copy of because I really like it. Obviously for songs like Lucy and the Sky with Diamonds. What else is on here that I really like? A Day in the Life is on here. When I'm 64, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, of course. A Little Help from My Friends is on this one. But this is a really beat up copy. I don't know if you're going to see it. You might a little bit. It is beat to hell. It's full of snaps, crackles, pops, all those Rice Krispies. But it's fine for a placeholder for now until I can get a better one. Basically, the guy I bought it off, I bought a load of albums off him, and he basically chucked this in for nothing. Did play a little bit in the video. I could hear it was crackly, and he basically wanted rid of it because he couldn't play it either. And upon that, I found a birthday card for somebody, so this was clearly a birthday gift. for someone back in the days and they played the hell out of it, but I won't say the message inside. But things like this, little sweet things like this, make an album all the more merrier. So I may just have to keep it just for that, even though I'm not going to be able to play it without getting frustrated, because the snaps, crackles and pops in this are very much overbearing compared to the music, and I'm going to need an upgrade, but for now this one will do. And I think that birthday card I found in there is probably why I kept it and didn't just get rid of it, because it's one of those albums, you know. It's fine for now, it'll do. We're nearly there, guys, I promise. We have 3 more things to show. 2 more from 2025 and then another 2026 purchase. And actually the first thing I'm going to lead off with from my 2025 purchases, and you may judge me for this, but I don't care. It's one of my favourite albums from 2025. And that's Miley Cyrus's Something Beautiful. This album, you can judge her all you want for like her past acting out in the VMAs and stuff like that. Obviously this is very different to the stuff she was doing when she was in Hannah Montana and on Disney, so she had to keep a clean image. Then when she went on the hip hop route, a little bit when she went off the rails and stuff. But the last few years, I've actually really enjoyed her music. I think Plastic Hearts was kind of her comeback album. And then her last album, I think is Endless Summer Vacation. The name escapes me. But this album was very, very good for me, in my opinion. Definitely more on the art rocky side. Worth a listen for sure. If you're not a fan of Miley but you like rock stuff, definitely give this one a listen. For me, this album was very surprising, and I opted for the translucent red vinyl, which mine, oddly enough, is actually missing its B-side label, so I only have the A-side label. So mine is unique in that way. So another reason to keep it, right? I've actually seen, I think this is actually more common than I thought, and singles, or having the same label on both sides. But if anyone does have a spare B-side label, please do send it my way. There is a booklet in here, but I'm not going to pull that out and bore you with that. But music-wise, this one might even be her best album. I'm not entirely sure which of the last 3 of her albums I prefer, but I definitely want to get at least Plastic Hearts on vinyl. I'm not 100% sure yet if I want to get Endless Summer Vacation on vinyl. I might do. I might break down and get it. But for now, I do have that. That did make my top 10 albums of 2025. Although I never made that video, if I did, that album would definitely be on it. Finally, getting to the last of the Creedence Clearwater Revival reissues. This is Mardi Gras. So at this point, they're down to a 3-piece band. Tom Fogerty has left the band because he's fed up of his brother's dominance. And in protest to that, John Fogerty let the other 2 members, Doug Clifford and Stu Cook, co-write this album. So I'm not saying it's a bad album by any means, but it's definitely out of their 7 albums the weakest. That it feels forced, probably because they owed the label one more album. But of course they did split up on the tour for this album, which doesn't even feel like an album, just feels like a compilation of Creedence Clearwater Revival of songs written by the last 3 members of Creedence Clearwater Revival. This one came on a gold vinyl. Yeah, they kind of reissued them all with on colored vinyl. This is the last one. All of these reissues, and I keep saying it with these when I pick them up or show them, all of these reissues sound fantastic. They are affordable, they are well done, they come in polyline sleeves. So, you know, and if you've got like $1,000 stereo, you may be able to tell the difference. But for me, I don't. So they sound good for me and my stereo, so that's all that matters. Again, this album has its highs and it has its lows, but of course they were on a very good 6-album run up until that point, but just that album, you could really feel the tensions in the band start building, and that's kind of where they fell off a little bit and all went their own ways. This last thing I'm going to show might surprise some people. It's not a genre of music I tend to pick up too often, but a bit of hard rock. This is Airborne with Boneshaker, their album from 2019, their last album until their album comes out later this year. I think August is due out, but this is a cool album. I really like Airborne. As a band, I want more of their stuff on wax. Just you don't see it. There's a nice gatefold, just black vinyl, so I'm not going to pull that out, but again, there's an insert in here with lyrics and stuff like that. But yeah, no, really good band. I think it was actually Brandon that said, Mr. Hall of Fame. I think he actually said it best, and I'm going to quote him here. If you take all the songs from AC/DC that didn't make their albums, you get Airborne. They sound a lot like AC/DC. If you like AC/DC, you'll probably like Airborne. At least that's what I always have said. They are much like AC/DC. They're also Australian, so they have that going for them. But I don't think they have much like AC/DC as well. I don't think they have a bad album. But with Airborne, you could definitely take any of the tracks off their other albums, put them on other albums, and you wouldn't know which album it would come from. It wouldn't matter. But Boneshaker, for me, their weakest album, but still a good one. I just got that one really cheap, so I picked it up. But yeah, that's everything I'm going to show. Actually, in a way, I think Airborne is still a little bit underrated because I hardly see anyone showing them. And they did come over to the UK, I think, back in February. Sold out the Roundhouse, but I unfortunately couldn't go to that one. But yeah, no, that's everything I have to show you in this video. It's finally done. I know it's taken longer than I expected, but thanks for bearing with me. If you've gone away for a bit, come back. Thank you very much for that anyway as well. Yeah, if you've enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up. Let me know if there's any more videos you guys would like to see. I've got a couple of ideas going through. There's a couple of vinyl tags going around, a couple of threads I might jump on. But anyway, regardless of what I end up doing, I'll see you all again next time. Bye.